Hey everyone, I am finally able to talk about Sulfur. I've been looking forward to this. I think I've been playing for maybe 6 to 7 hours already, and this game is great. It's one of my favorites of the year, and definitely different to anything else I've played this year. My name's Beggles, we do indie game reviews here. If you like that, subscribe. Let's do a Sulfur review. So in essence, Sulfur is a first-person shooter game that revolves around your runs into dungeons or towns or whatever you manage to get up to. The storyline is pretty cryptic right from the start, as you are seen inside this car driving along with a crazy witch who flies off, throws a fireball at you and heads into the cave, and having a bit of a conversation with your talisman, you find out this witch is not a very nice person. So you decide that you're going to unlock the mysteries and chase her. Simples. You start that by delving into a cave that's filled with goblins, and you quickly find out that all the goblins are going to attack you. Well, not all the goblins, some of them just sit there and cower or throw themselves in the way when you're attacking others. I feel kind of bad when I shoot them. If you happen to die, of which you will of course, you will be sent back to this eerie church-like town with some mysterious characters who seem to want to buy goblin flesh and sell you some items that are going to help you on your runs into the different places that you'll go. The different places that you explore are set out in terms of levels that you need to defeat enemies within, collect loot, and then find the golden door or golden tunnel that's going to lead you to the next place. As you get further and further into the levels, you'll find that the enemies start to become more complex, leading from simple kind of easy dudes into glowing enemies that have some kind of enchantment, the ability to explode or spawn different enemies, that kind of thing. You do have the ability to use your talisman to teleport back to the town if you feel like you've reached a point that's too dangerous, but that leads to you having to start all over again, which can become a bit of a pain. So what's the goal then? How do you progress through Sulfur? It all comes down to the loot and weapons that you will get along the way. As you use weapons, they start to level up depending on the amount of enemies that you defeated, which gives you the access to more slots that you can put enchantments and upgrades and things like that. Whilst you will die a lot at the start, you start to realize that dying is really tricky because you need money in order to set out on a good run. So coming up with a strategy that allows you to not only earn money, but come back to town with the items that you set out with is really important because you don't want to lose the weapons and armor that you've found along the way, especially once they've been upgraded and leveled up. Sulfur is definitely a game that gives you a lot of different types of weapons. Some of them are really interesting, some of them are slightly comical. And this is especially true with the armor, where you'll get things like high heels that allow you to have extra charm or rollerblades that give you extra speed. I must say that right before I recorded this video, I just died and lost all of my good items. So next time I play, I'm definitely jumping back in and having to start out again, which is going to be a real struggle. But you do have the ability to stash different guns that you found along the way, so I should have a couple of okay guns to start off with. When I saw the visuals of Sulfur, I was thinking this would be more of an arcade-ish kind of first-person shooter, but the gunplay is actually really good. And whilst you don't get too much reaction in terms of where you shoot the enemies, there's different damage points. They explode really well. This game has a gore warning, and it's not hard to see why. And the enemies act in a way that means that you do need to strategize and work your way through. I don't think many people are going to play this game and not find it a fun experience. However, there is a lot of having to run and gun, as the different areas are quite enclosed and the game sort of ramps up its difficulty by having big swarms of enemies rush at you. If you stand and fight, you'll take damage pretty quickly, so you've got to think your way through, take out the enemies that you need to, utilize enchantments like the ones that I found so far are electricity or the ability to make the enemies actually fight against each other. And if all else fails, then press T, talk to your talisman, and then head back to town with all of your things in time. I guess this quick-paced action is challenging at times, although the game gives you one feature which makes it really easy to work through, and that's the fact that when you use your inventory, or if you talk to your talisman, the game pauses. So you can do things like heal, change guns, get your throwables into the right slots to make it easier, or just head home without having to do it on the run because the enemies are quick. So what are the things that I don't like about Sulfur? Well, I guess some of the challenges come down to the learning curve. At the start, you're going to end up having to lose runs because you just don't have the right amount of ammunition, or you haven't reached a point where you can buy enough bullets. And it can become a bit frustrating when you're getting the hang of it. You're wanting to go further, but you just have to go back home because you can't melee your way through this. That's a learning curve that I feel like I've got to the top of now. So whilst there are times where it was frustrating, I don't think it's there anymore. Another thing is I'm not super impressed with the variety of the enemies. I think the designs are good. I think the different elements are okay, but they all seem to have a pretty similar idea. They walk towards you, they jump towards you. A few throw mellow projectiles and things like that, but most of the damage is going to come from pretty much really quick dogs that can rush you and get to you before you have a chance to run away. or the damage of just getting caught in a choke point and not being able to get out. So I definitely have Sulfur as one of my better games of the year. I'd give it an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I think this is a game that you'll get at least 10 hours of, and the people that really love it are going to get well more than that. It's aesthetically very good. The storyline doesn't really grab me, but that's okay, because the gameplay is that good. Let me know what you think.